The year is 2024. PBS Plus has just launched, bringing the world's streaming services to 4,387. How can anyone be expected to go through all this content? Fear not, loyal passengers. Captain Joe Shoes and his first mate Mez are here to travel through space and time to bring you the best nuggets pop culture has to offer. Strap in, folks. It's time for the JoeMeZ podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 383 of the JoeMeZ podcast. I'm Mez, and my co-host, as always, is
the magistrate of Caravan City, the 2023 award winner for Major Bendy of the Year. I'm Captain Joe Shoes from the JoeMeZ podcast.
Yeah, you are, buddy. What's up? How you doing, bro?
Gomez, what a week.
Oh, yeah?
No, not really. It was a week.
It was a week.
It was a week in the sense that time has elapsed since last week. But other than that, it is just another week, but we're feeling good. We're feeling fine. We're talking pop culture all of the time.
Ooh, that's nice. I love talking pop culture. It's fun.
That's what we do.
That's good. Yeah, nothing exciting. Yeah, just a regular week, right? Nothing crazy going on.
No,
how's the weather by you? Is the weather by you crazy?
It's very, very cold. We're down in the 50s.
Yeah, we were down to 20 degrees today, but it wasn't so bad because it wasn't windy. Like the other day was 40 and it was fucking terrible out. Today I was like, it's fucking cold, but at least it's not the worst. Supposed to snow tonight.
My tiny little friend Swaggle, who lives in Wisconsin, was in the negatives. And I didn't think those were real numbers. I thought that was just some bullshit they teach you in like fractions class or something, like stuff you're never going to need in the real world. But no, apparently it's possible to have weather that is incorrect.
Crazy. There was a big
stupid. Who would live there?
It's crazy, right? There was a big football game this weekend. Dolphins in Kansas City. It was -7. It felt like -27. What are we doing? What? Well, who's going to that game, bro? You cannot pay me to go to that game. Like, what are we doing?
Nope.
Especially you're a Chiefs fan, right? So you're a little spoiled, right? They're always in the playoffs. They're making it far.
They won 2 Super Bowls. So now
there's no reason to
understand. And I love the Penguins, but I'm a spoiled Penguins fan now at this point. Like I've gotten 3 Stanley Cups since 2009. You know what? Everything with the Penguins going forward is like playing with house money.
Yes,
if they win, great. Obviously, I still watch the games. I'm still like invested, but I don't get all worked up anymore. I've seen my championships. It was fun. I loved it. If I don't get another one, I'm okay with it. Give me that one Mets World Series. That's what I want. Just one. Just the one. It's been almost 40 years. This will be 38 years since the Mets last won a World Series. And when you're a kid, like when we grew up in New York, back in 1994, the New York Rangers hockey team had a big drought for Stanley Cups. And when they finally won, it was like, oh my God, 54 years of suffering. And it's like, oh my God, the Mets are getting there, baby. This is no good.
The Rangers won, and they're right back. I mean, the numbers is getting up there again, folks.
Yeah, the Rangers are one of the worst sports franchises of all time. You talk about it. They have existed for legit 200 years and won the Stanley Cup like twice.
Just a waste of fun. It's just the worst. Being a Ranger fan is not fun because it's like, oh, hey, and they don't know.
But it could be worse. You know how it could be worse?
Well, what could be worse?
You could be Joey Hudson and be a Minnesota Vikings fan.
Oh, Joey, don't say that about Joey Hudson. It's his Kirk Cousins. Come on, baby.
Thank you guys for listening to the JoeMeZ podcast. Remember to hit that subscribe button, leave a 5-star review wherever it is that you're getting this, or if you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/@JoeMeZ pod, make sure you like and leave some comments. Even ring that bell. That way you get the notifications whenever we post some new content every Thursday right here on the channel. And JoeMeZ, while we're talking about the NFL, how spectacular was the absolute breakdown of society caused by the NFL playoffs being on the Peacock app this week?
Oh my God. You would think it was nothing worse has happened in the world. Let me tell you, just this game on Peacock. Holy shit. I heard the numbers were good. People complained, but they showed up.
Now, if you think about it, what the argument I kept seeing in favor of Peacock, now NBC paid a lot of money. You pay a lot of money for broadcasting rights to the NFL. So if you want to put it on your app, I don't have a problem with that. If you pay $6 for Peacock this month, you get NFL playoffs and the Royal Rumble. And guess what? Even if you don't like wrestling, there's probably someone that does. And the Royal Rumble is like the most fun pay-per-view. If you're only going to have it for 1 month, have it for the Royal Rumble over WrestleMania. At least the Royal Rumble's cool. You make a drinking game out of it. You can put bets on stuff. You have people come over. We could all cheer. Oh, who do you think is going to be next? Pass the Cheetos. Pass those Cheetos. Flaming hot. Flaming hot. Just like the Royal Rumble. Everything. Flaming hot. We're doing it. $6. But you would think the universe imploded. People could not figure out how to use Peacock, how to get Peacock, how to work Peacock. It was like when Superman and the holiday armadillo were in the same place at the same time. It caused a ruckus.
So good. Yeah. And I don't even think you probably could have got a free trial, right? You probably didn't even have to pay the $6 to watch this fucking game.
Who knows? I would think if you're paying like legitimately the hundreds of millions of dollars that it takes to get NFL TV rights, you probably force people to pay the $6. It's fucking $6. That's not even your fees on an Uber Eats order.
But it's a slippery slope, bro. We start to play for playoff games. What's next? Super Bowl pay-per-view, bro.
How has the Super Bowl not been a pay-per-view yet?
It makes sense, right? It like, how is that not the event? $100, get all your friends.
The only reason it hasn't been is because the networks are still able to make the money back on advertising for the day. But there's gonna come a point where someone's gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna buy the rights to the Super Bowl, some like Kerbillionaire, and I'm just gonna put it on pay-per-view. Or I'm going to put it on my own network and it's going to be behind a paywall. That has got to be coming up at some point. And if there's one event you can do it with, it's 100%. If you think about it, with the sporting events we have now, I don't see, we've become more niche, and we talk about this a lot. There's niche in everything. Everything has gotten into specialties except for the NFL. The NFL still reigns supreme because it is event programming. It's not the everyday monotony of baseball. It's not the, all the games of the NBA, the 2 months of the NHL playoffs. It's not the Olympics where we may only care about 1 or 2 events out of 46. The Super Bowl is event programming. The world stops. People all go to parties. People have their Super Bowl boxes. Everybody's got some kind of skin in the game. We still have the Super Bowl, and it's only a matter of time until you can't do this with any other event.
No, it is, because it's one game. You're gonna pay $7. How do you do the NBA? Oh, you pay for all 7 now. Super Bowl, it makes sense. The former president of ESPN, Skipper, John Skipper, he's always brought up that he thinks one day, like when he was making deals and stuff, he's like, I can see this going on pay-per-view. Looking at my numbers and all my stuff, I think this will happen in the next 10 years. This is step 1, baby. Peacock.
I mean, realistically, if you're Peacock or Fox, I don't really know that Fox. I mean, they have that Fox Sports app, but
they don't really have a thing for that.
To me, that's not really. I mean, they own. What does Fox own? Fox owns Tubi, maybe.
Fox does own Tubi, yes.
So I guess you could buy a premium package for 2 and watch it through Tubi if that was the case.
Maybe I think if they were going to do something, they would probably roll it out. Maybe this would be the rollout to their app or something, or they would
You can't do
piggyback
it
off
as
of
you
something.
can't roll out the Super Bowl because if there's technical difficulties, the world will burn.
See, that's the problem. Imagine,
Yeah.
bro. We were trying to watch the game before was on NBC. For some reason, my cable was just coming in scrambled. I literally had to switch over to Peacock to watch it. It made no sense. I'm like, this is basic cable TV here, and why is my shit unwatchable, bro? Cable TV could kick rocks.
Well, it was fun to watch the internet implode, and
Yes,
I guess it's people our age now, right? Like we're the old people complaining on the internet. You know, we're those guys now. So
I think it's a little older. I think we're right at that cusp. I think we're still good. I think we can still figure out Peacock. I think it's when you get 45, 50. Now they're starting to get a little annoyed about this stuff.
you know, the amount of people who think, oh, it should just be on free TV. I get that. But if there's money to be made, people are going to figure out a way to make that money, you know?
Well, yeah, they've been complaining all year because right now Thursday night games are on the app again. But it's like, do you remember for the longest time, Thursday night games were NFL Network exclusives. We never watched Thursday night games. It was always like, oh, who played? Oh, cool. Because no one had NFL Network. And then eventually the other networks got greedy. Hey, I want those ratings. I want that.
Yep.
And so you got it. Now it's on Amazon.
So JoeMeZ, if you're one of the people who signed up for Peacock this week, not only did you get the NFL playoffs, not only will you get the Royal Rumble, but JoeMeZ, there is a brand new event series, I should say. Not just any series, but an event series exclusive to Peacock. Came out this week. It's Ted. Seth MacFarlane's lovable, foul-mouthed little bear has a 7-episode event series on the Peacock network. JoeMeZ, were you aware of this?
Only because I was watching football this weekend on Peacock. I know it was coming out, but that it was coming out this week, no clue at all, bro.
I've actually caught a couple commercials for it while listening to Spotify because I don't pay for Spotify Premium. I'm lazy.
Son of a lazy bastard.
So I had some commercials, and then I was on HBO Max just kind of skimming around, and I see in the featured things, it said Ted, the movie. And I said, wait a minute. Didn't that series come out where I thought it was supposed to be on Peacock? So then I switched over to Peacock, and there it was, the number one thing. New Ted series, 7 episodes.
So crazy. It makes no sense how these rights work, bro.
I have no idea. Like
it makes no sense. You would want the movie, right? I think you go, hey, watch the movie and the series. Come on, folks.
So there's been 2 Ted movies so far. I don't really know that we were clamoring for a series.
No,
part 2 was simply at best.
Yes.
Part 1 I thought was pretty funny, but I also feel like part 1 kind of gave you too much in the commercials and in the trailers.
Sure.
So by the time you saw the movie, you weren't surprised by anything.
Yeah, I didn't love the movie. I thought the movie was okay. Like, especially at that point, Seth MacFarlane and his comedy stylings, in 2012, like we were kind of like, all right, we get it, Seth. Like we kind of
at that point though, Family Guy was at an all-time high. I know you and I both it had kind of worn on us by then.
Yes.
But there's a reason.
But it was still it's still on the TV. Yeah, it's still on TV now. But yes, I mean, so I was at that point because we liked it when it came back. It was like it was too much.
With that being said, despite me and you not being the biggest of fans of Family Guy, we love American Dad.
Love American Dad.
I love the Cleveland Show.
I like Cleveland Show too. I did enjoy the Cleveland Show. I did.
So
we loved everything but that.
It's the same guy doing the same stuff. I don't know why it was any different. But we get this show, and immediately I'm like, oh, what's this going to be? And it feels like, for all intents and purposes, we're basically getting a live action Family Guy where Ted is basically taking the place of Brian the dog from Family Guy, and we're short a baby. So, but we have our parental household. We get a lot of the same music cues, it feels like, too. I watched all 7 episodes, and I felt like very much like it was, very, very similar to what live action Family Guy would look like if that indeed became a thing.
Yes, they're definitely playing into the sitcom, the 90s sitcom. They're definitely leaning into that. which was I thought that was fun at least.
Gomez, I'm gonna be honest. I went in here with no expectations, expecting to kind of hate it. And the first probably 1 or 2 episodes, I was like, yeah, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I feel like it kind of got better as I went along, and it felt like they were starting to catch their footing. And by the time it ended, I was like, you know what? I would keep watching this.
Oh, I did 3 episodes. The first episode's 50 minutes, the rest are around 30 minutes or so. And I was like, I liked it, but I wasn't like, I'm not like you tell me it's good, so I'll watch the rest of the episodes. But if you told me it was whatever, I wouldn't go back to watch it. Like it's there. If I remember one day I'm on Peacock, like, oh, I'll turn. But no, like I saw it, it was good. I'll move on. Like
it was one of the situations, kind of like with American Dad. When I first watched American Dad, the first episode was premiered after the Super Bowl one year. And I watched it going, I don't even really see myself getting invested in any of these characters. It just seems so weird and clunky. And with this show, it was kind of the same where I'm like, oh, like the wife is doing a weird voice and we're getting the overbearing liberal niece or whatever. That's kind of like Haley from American Dad. And we've got Ted being Ted and just doing the Ted things. So I was like, I don't really know about this. But it was like, as you get kind of through it a little bit, each episode becomes like a little smoother, a little cleaner, a little funnier. It becomes a lot more entertaining. And by the end of it, I was like, oh, I feel like I can fucks with this.
All right, I'll check it out. Because like I said, I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. I like the idea of it. The set in the 90s, going to school and stuff. I was like, all right, this could be fun. So, hey, I'll check it out.
It still amazes me that the 90s is going back in time.
Yes, the 90s is a big, like, oh, let's throw it back to 1995. It's like, God damn you. God damn you.
So, Gomez, that was Ted. Like I said, I'm going to keep watching it. But one thing I wasn't expecting this week was there was a bunch of news. And I don't want to hit the music for this, but this is going to be a bit of a talking point, maybe a little bit something serious. So I don't know if you've seen this. We haven't really discussed it. But George Carlin is back in the news this week.
Okay, interested.
Now, I wouldn't classify myself as this huge George Carlin fan, but I was certainly a fan of him while he was alive, and I enjoyed his stuff, but I wasn't like a George Carlin completist. But now, there's a new George Carlin special up on YouTube.
Interesting.
The interesting thing is that it's not by George Carlin.
Was it AI?
It's an AI-generated special by the channel Dudesy. Now, Dudesy is a podcast hosted by Will Sasso and Chad Kultgen. Okay. And there's an AI program of the same name. And these two guys, Sasso and Kultgen, they will not reveal the company behind this. They have NDAs. So they're prohibited from disclosing the company who's behind all of this. But this Dudesy program basically ingested all of George Carlin's work over the years and spit out what it thought a 2024 comedy special would be like.
Interesting.
Now, the voice is not great, so it doesn't necessarily feel like you're listening to Carlin the entire time. And the video behind it is all AI-generated images of what he's talking about at the time. But his daughter, Kelly, George Carlin's daughter, Kelly, has come out in strict opposition to this, hating it, because she's like, my father's work came from his head. He's no longer here. That was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You can't read, he would hate this, and he would.
Yeah.
And even Will Sasso, when he spoke about this on his podcast, was very uneasy about it and didn't really like it. And you could tell he didn't like it, but it's his job.
Yeah, he went along
to tell you to watch it.
Yeah.
So I actually did watch it. It's a little over an hour. It's on YouTube. And it's weird, man. It is fucking weird.
I gotta check this out. This is crazy. I gotta check this out.
So in a lot of ways, the talking points kind of do feel Carlin-esque.
Okay.
But then kind of about, I don't know, 30 minutes in or so, it breaks down into this whole defense of AI and how AI is going to make your life better. It's not going to take away your job. It's going to make it better.
Self-aware AI, bro. What is this?
So I'm just like, what? Like, what is happening here? So I hope you do check it out. I want you to check it out.
I will. I love George Carlin.
This next week. It's like I said, it's a little over an hour, but JoeMeZ, just in general, what is your thoughts about where do you stand on AI generated programming for people who aren't here to do it? There's even a joke in the set where Carlin's
about
like,
him being
well, the whole thing, it's called George Carlin, I'm glad I'm dead.
Oh
and he's like, I haven't put, it opens with him going, I haven't put out anything in a while. Yeah, there's a reason for it. I've been fucking dead.
That's funny though.
And in the special, he's like, and this is just the beginning. I'm going to bring everyone with me. Richard Pryor's coming and and it's very creepy in a way to me. So where
it is. I'm definitely in the creepy thing, right? We talked about it when we watched the Flash, right? They brought all those dead people back for that CGI stuff, and it was like, this is weird. Like, why are we bringing these dead people back in this CGI form? So I'm always against using dead people's likeness. Like, that's just wild. I'm a big George Carlin fan. I read his books, his comedy specials, so I'm so intrigued to see how this works. And like you said, yeah, just because you feed everything into the machine doesn't mean it knows exactly what's like. That's just crazy. It's gonna cause a lot of problems, right? Because already you see these fakes where you go, this is a fake video right here.
Yeah,
like this is like, it's crazy. I don't like where this is headed.
Yeah, it had the kind of car crash appeal to me, like you want to look.
Yeah.
So I felt like I had to watch it. And then when I did, I kind of didn't feel good about myself at the end of it. Like, there were parts, like I said, that did feel Carlin-esque, where you're like, I could see that. Like, that's Carlin.
Sure. But anyone could write a Carlin-esque joke. If you've watched enough, his manual, like, you could do that, sure.
But then by the end of it, and knowing he would hate it, and knowing his daughter hates it and has spoken out about it, it's just by the end of it, you're like, oh my God, like, this ain't it, pal.
But so there's no so they can just do this, like,
I don't know,
without the consent of the family and stuff. Like, that's the thing too. Like, how are you able to turn, like, it's one thing to just do, like, me and you go, hey, let's take all this Macho Man stuff and make a Macho Man promo. It's another thing to put it out on YouTube and for everyone to see.
The only thing I can think of that skirts the issue of likeness rights is the fact that these are obviously no real pictures of Carlin. It's not his real voice.
It's not his real voice.
Okay. And there's disclosures at the beginning and the end saying this is not George Carlin. This is a fictionalized representation of what this program thinks a George Carlin set would sound like in 2024. So
there's a lot of disclaimers. Okay.
Maybe like throughout the whole beginning is like, once again, this is not the real George Carlin. This is me,
that's probably program.
So maybe that skirts the issue of likeness rights.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like I said, there's parts of it where you kind of forget what you're watching, but then there's enough of it where you're like, oh, like, nah, man.
Because there's some good AI stuff I love. Like they make videos of Homer Simpson singing Linkin Park and that's wonderful. Like, I love those videos. But then, like, everyone's gotta turn it up a level. Like, we can't just have some silly fun. It's always got to be malicious fun.
Well, and wasn't this a big part of what, like, the actors just struck over? Was
because they want to have it in their contract.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to use my shit when I'm dead. Some people don't care. Some people do. That's up to you. Whatever.
Personally, it feels like we're in the middle of iRobot here, or Ultron. Yes. Ultron, we thought we programmed it right, but there's always a way around things.
Yeah, bro. Deep fakes are crazy. They're getting pretty damn good.
So that'll be for some follow-up next week. I do want you to watch that, so please do.
I will. Yes.
But I've got a little follow-up for this week, JoeMeZ.
Oh, yeah, I love follow-ups.
So last week you came on this very program and you mentioned the movie called Anatomy of a Fall.
Oh, baby. Yes, I did.
Now, in your recap of this movie, I'm like, whatever. It sounds fine enough. Until you got to one specific point about the acting capabilities of the dog in this movie.
It was my
and I'll be honest, the movie, as you described it, was like, it's not something I was going to go out of my way for. If I found myself doing nothing, whatever. But when you talked about the acting ability of this dog, I said, but it's a fucking dog. Like, how good? What does this dog have to do?
Right? What does it mean when I say this dog can act, right? What the fuck am I saying? I understand.
What could this dog have possibly done to elicit the kind of review, the kind of accolades that you thrust upon this poor pooch? What could that? So I said, I got to watch this fucking movie.
I love it. Yes.
And I sat down and I watched Anatomy of a Fall. The movie is very long. It's about a 2.5 hour movie.
2.5 hours, yes.
And it feels 2.5 hours.
It's slow, yes.
It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. Just as a movie, as on its own, I know you gave it a little bit of a higher rating than I did. I saw your review over on Letterboxd, on your Letterboxd account. I have one now too, because I have to keep track of what I'm watching.
It's the number 8 highest rated movie of the year on Letterboxd.
I didn't think it was that great. Yeah, I gave it a 2.5 main man. It felt very, very long in some parts.
But I get that. When you say that, it drags. It's very deliberate. It's very slow to get where it's going.
And it's very procedural.
Yes.
So I was just like, oh my God, can we get back to the fucking dog? Because there is one scene in particular.
One scene. That's all I'm talking about.
And I don't want to spoil it too much.
I can't spoil it. That's why I didn't want to say. You will know. You will watch the movie and know.
I talked about it in our Facebook group this week. Search the JoeMeZ podcast on Facebook and join our group. It's free and be a part of the conversation. But I said it in the group this week. I'm watching this movie and my God, JoeMeZ was right. This dog is incredible. There is one, like at first the movie opens and the dog is doing dog.
The dog's doing stuff. So you're like, oh, what's this dog doing? I'm sure
the dog's doing dog things though. It's like, oh, okay, like whatever.
Yeah.
But then there's one scene in particular where, number one, I didn't even think it was a real dog at first.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The things that the dog is doing, like, wait, what?
And then this dog has a moment of a lifetime.
Yep. Yes, it does.
This dog has a moment. Unbelievable acting by this dog in Anatomy of
to do this. How did they get this dog to do this, bro?
I have no idea. For that long, and how many takes must they have done?
Yes, exactly. And to be like, okay, now do this. Okay, now, like, because he does several, he's going through it. The dog is going through it. Well, that's what we'll say. The dog is going through it, and you can see all the emotions and just everything. Oh my God, it's amazing.
Like when they complain about wrestling today and they say nobody sells, let me tell you something. The dog didn't get the memo. That dog can fucking sell.
That dog was Shawn Michaels versus fucking Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam. All over that ring, flopping, bro. He was giving it his all.
This is going, and like I keep going back to it. I said, what the fuck could this dog have done? That JoeMeZ is so about this dog's performance. Like, what could the dog? And then when you see it, you go, my God, he's right. JoeMeZ is right. This dog is incredible.
I paused the movie the first time I watched it. I just went, bro, that fucking, like, I had to stop and collect myself. Like, it was a moment. Oof, I love it. I'm so happy that you're right on board with me because I don't sound crazy now. We're both sane people. We just sound crazy. This dog is amazing.
So if you haven't seen this movie, it's on VOD. So you gotta purchase it, pony up the couple of bucks to get it. It's called Anatomy of a Fall. It is a French film. Like I said, it's long for me, won't be on any of my best of lists, but this dog is something. This dog is worth the price of admission. I think I paid like $4 or something.
Yeah,
so
it's like 3 foot.
go see this movie. If you got 2.5 hours, it's an adult movie. So if you want to sit down with your significant other and have a movie night, put the kids to bed, have a cigar and a little glass of port with it, watch this movie and just be awestruck by the dog.
I love it, man. I love it. I need people to watch this because you watched it. So now I need guys, right? I said it and you probably thought I was crazy. This fucking guy. Joe was saying it now. Come on. Please. Let's talk about this.
Even in the group, I believe it was Dave Nagel had said, is it still that good even after Gomez's glowing review of it? I said, my God, yes, because you go in thinking, all right, like what
did the dog do?
What does he really do? And then he does it. My God, does he do it?
Oh, I'm so happy you watched. Thank you for watching. I feel vindicated. Like I'm like, am I overselling this? I don't think.
It's very rare that you really come in here like so excited about something so borderline insignificant, right? Like usually I'm the one who gets hyped up over stuff. But for you to come in here and be that jacked for the performance of a dog, I have to see what he's talking about. Like I have to, even if I hate it, I gotta see for myself. Like what is, and my goodness gracious, what a dog!
What a dog! What a dog! Messi, I believe, is the dog's name. Good job, Messi. Good job. Joe, I watched one other new movie this week. I watched my first 2024 new release. I watched before I went to the movies to see our main event here. It was a movie that was on the Hulu. I was on Hulu. I said, oh, what's this? Ooh. It's called Self-Reliance. It was directed and starring Jake Johnson, best known for
The New Girl.
Nick on The New Girl. We love Nick on The New Girl. Amazing sitcom character. Wonderful. All-timer. Great. So he's in this movie, right? So the trailer started. I watched 30 seconds. I said, I'm hooked. The trailer starts. This is also how the movie is described, so I'm not spoiling nothing. The trailer starts. Our man is just walking down the street, and a limo pulls up. The window goes down, and Andy Samberg is in the limo. So already I'm like, whoa, I'm going to have to watch this movie. And he's playing Andy Samberg. Okay.
Is Andy Samberg at that level now where he just gets to be Andy Samberg?
It's so like, funny.
Remember, he was the guy who needed the popular, like Adam Sandler came into his stuff to be Adam Sandler. And it's like, oh my God, Justin Timberlake. But now Andy wow, good for Andy Samberg.
He just rolls down the window. They're like, are you Andy Samberg? He's like, yes, I am. And so he explains that our character here has been selected for a game show on the dark web. If he can survive 31 days where someone is trying to kill him, he will win $1 million. The catch is they cannot kill you if someone is with you. So he goes, that's easy. I'll just have someone with me at all times and nothing bad will happen. And hilarity ensues. That's the point of the movie. It stars also your double main lady, Anna Kendrick, is in the movie here.
Oh,
yes, those are the two main characters, and there's some other people come and go, but it's about 90 minutes, like 84 minutes. It's a quick watch. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was funny. I thought the premise was good. I thought they worked well with the premise, like they kept with it. And I had a really good time with it. It was a good way to kick off 2024 movie watching, baby.
I like it. This sounds like something I'm going to have to check out. What was that name again?
Yes. Self-Reliance on Hulu.
All right.
Yeah. Just came out this past week. Good shit. A lot of fun, especially if you like it. He's doing that character. He's doing that Nick character, where he's a mess.
Well, that's like his
together.
That's his thing.
So yeah, it's good.
So
Real
Gomez,
good.
I'm excited for that now. It gives me, like I said, he's a good dude. I like Anna
Yeah.
Kendrick,
Well,
obviously.
of
She's,
course.
she gives that little flutter to the old heart here when it feels
Yeah.
like working. And then, of course, there's some Andy Samberg. I can't turn that down. But you and I did both go to the movies this week to see our first theatrical release of 2024, the number one movie in America. Gomez beat expectations last
You
week.
did.
I said I thought it would make about 20 million, maybe. It made 28 million domestically. Worldwide, it topped out at just over 34 million, all on a budget of 36 million. It
That's
is, that's phenomenal. It is called Mean Girls, and it is a retelling of the Mean Girls movie that we know from 20 years ago. It is now the 20th anniversary of the original Mean Girls film. So here we are, 20 years later, still going to the theater to see Mean Girls. Like I said, came in number one at the box office. Listen to some of these movies behind it. This is a new movie I never heard of until I read this. The Beekeeper, Gomez. Have you heard of this?
Yes, because it's the new Jason Statham movie. So it's like the big action movie.
Ooh, okay.
It's supposed to be fun. I heard it's a lot of fun. I heard it's a little silly, but fun.
Okay, so that came in second this week at 16.8 million. Wonka coming in third.
Damn.
Wonka is now up to $176 million, which
Slow and
that
steady,
sounds like a
baby.
great total to me.
Yeah, it does. I would think so. I can't imagine if you told me it made almost $200 million when it was coming out. I'd be like, that's great. That's pretty damn good.
Now, what else I wanted to bring up was Aquaman. Aquaman had this enormous budget, came in sixth this week, but after this week, it crossed the $100 million barrier. This movie fucking sucks. It's got terrible word of mouth, and it's still going to be in the red when things are all said and done. But
a lot closer to
it's over $108 million now.
That's crazy.
So I don't understand.
Is it just because there's nothing out? Is that like people just like, oh, let's go see the Aquaman? Like, I don't even understand.
I really don't know. I really don't know.
That's crazy. Aquaman numbers. The fact that it made over 100 million is I'm stupefied by it. Like that. I would have never. I would be like, you're fucking lying. Get out of here.
Because now, as we've seen these superhero movies constantly devolve from like where Black Adam was, we thought that was a
disaster. Yeah.
And now the Marvels, the way that came in, it continually got less. Then Guardians of the Galaxy, and then Shazam, and Ant-Man had that big opening weekend and then like completely dropped off the cliff. The Marvels made nothing. So I'm thinking Aquaman ain't gonna do shit.
Hell no.
So for me to see it at 108 million, I'm going, God bless.
I think they have to be very happy with that. A movie that means nothing. It was barely promoted. Like, it's just like, hey, because for the longest time, there was no trailer. We're like, is this movie coming out? They're like, yeah, it's coming out Christmas. It's like, okay. And like December, it's like, here's a trailer. Here's your first trailer.
But these were all beaten by the new Mean Girls movie. And we knew it was going to be a musical that is based lightly on the original movie, but more on the Broadway musical adaptation of the original film, which was based on a book entitled Queen Bees and Wannabes by Rosalind Weissman. And according to IMDb, I feel like we all know this. I feel like everyone's seen Mean Girls around here. But according to IMDb, Katie Heron is a hit with the Plastics, the A-list girl clique at her new school. But things change when she makes the mistake of falling for Aaron Samuels, the ex-boyfriend of Alpha Plastic, Regina George.
Okay, a little more detailed, I would think now with that description.
So we get Angourie Rice playing Katie, who I think is probably best known for playing Betty Brant in the Spider-Man Homecoming movie.
Oh yeah.
Small role, but she was still in it.
That's right.
Renee Rapp, who plays Regina George, she actually played Regina in the musical for a few months before COVID shut it down.
Interesting.
Avantika, who I've never heard of, and she's done other things, but nothing that really stands out. She plays Karen, and BB Wood plays Gretchen. Once again, she has a list of things that she's done, usually in small roles, nothing that really stands out. We get some big celebrity cameos. Jenna Fisher plays Katie's mom in this. We get Busy Phillips plays Regina George's mom. Tina Fey and Tim Meadows are back, reprising their characters from the original film. And my double main man, John Hamm, comes in as the gym coach. And then, of course, we get the Lindsay Lohan cameo. So that makes Lindsay Lohan, Tina Fey, and Tim Meadows the only three people to appear in both this movie as well as the original Mean Girls movie. And Tim Meadows as the only person to appear in both Mean Girls, and Mean Girls 2. The low budget sequel.
That's right. He is in now. That's right. Oh, fucking Mean Girls too.
So going into this movie, I knew it was a musical.
Yes.
I knew it was kind of based on the musical. I didn't expect it to be the actual Mean Girls movie as a musical. I didn't realize it was just going to be a new retelling of the original Mean Girls story.
Yeah, it's not much new to it. It's just this is Mean Girls. We added some songs. Hope you enjoy. Like, there's not really a lot different. Like, I figured we'd get. I didn't think so. But I figured there'd be more differences. Like, if you looked up one of those, the differences between. There's not a lot in this column.
No, it's slightly shorter. This movie clocks in at 1 hour and 52 minutes, so it's slightly shorter than the original. But that's because they wanted to just fit in the songs and not stretch things out and just make things flow. There were some more songs that were written for this movie, like Aaron Samuels was going to have a song at some point, and that got cut and taken out of the script. But for all intents and purposes, I think the songs work. But they don't catch me in the way that they do in other musicals. Like we talked about, Leo had some really good songs. Wonka recently really caught me with the soundtrack where like I got in the car and be like, yo, I can't, when I go home, I'm downloading that soundtrack. With this movie, there was really none of that. They kind of just fit and they're moving along the story and that's all well and good. But when you have a musical, and I think of High School Musical, like we talked about last week, and Anna and the Apocalypse always stands out to me, where when I was done, I downloaded a song where I'm like, oh, this is my favorite song. And this movie I walked out of, and everything was pretty forgettable for me.
What's your favorite song if you have to pick?
For this movie, I don't even know. Like, I really don't have one.
I think maybe World Burn, like when she's getting angry with the burn book at the end, Regina George. That song I thought was fun.
The Janice, is her name Janice in this? I think it is. But the Janice character from the original movie is that song where she's kind of just dancing
the Revenge Party.
Yeah, like that might be it. I thought that was fun. But at the same time, it felt like we were so far involved, like in the movie at that point, like that could have been cut completely and gone missed. Like
I looked at the track listing for the musical, the Broadway musical. There's 21 songs, so they did cut a lot of songs. Like they actually condensed it for the movie, so that's interesting. I wonder if they left out a banger.
And with this, Renee Rapp, who plays Regina, like I said, she was in the musical. I understand that whenever you do these teen movies or series, television shows, the people are usually older than the characters they're playing.
She does look a lot older than high school. She doesn't look like
she's in looks like she's in her mid-30s playing Regina George, the high school bully.
She is. She does look a little old to be a 16, 17-year-old.
And then I look her up. I say, but how old? Like, I'm like, there's no way she's younger than 30. Like, there's just no way. She's like 24.
Yes, she just looks a little mature.
But like, it kind of ruins the dynamic in a way. Like, even in the original, Rachel McAdams did look older than Lacey Chabert and Amanda Seyfried, but it wasn't like so much older that it threw off the whole thing. In this movie, this woman, Renee Rapp, looks so much older than all the other people in the movie that you're like, it almost feels like that Drew Barrymore movie where she goes undercover. And I'm like, should she even be allowed in school? Like this is like a crime now. This is 2024. We can't be doing this shit anymore.
No, I agree. She is. It's one of those things. Yes, especially I feel like the other kids, they're good. They look like they could be high school. It's like they're not so old.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a nice one. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, the movie. I'm a little disappointed because it's not. It's like if you see Mean Girls, like you know what's happened. It's not really it's not fun to talk about here. It's like,
there's no real meat on the bone for anything new or different or to kind of expand upon like the Mean Girls universe or any kind of backstory. There's just not a lot there to sink your teeth into. So it's really relying on telling you the same story only by song this time. And that's all well and good. But like I said, the songs don't capture you. They don't grab you. They don't keep you there where you're like, oh man, I can't wait to see how they're going to do this next one. When they happen and they're fine and you move on. And that's really it. There's just not a lot to talk about when it comes to this movie. If you've seen the Mean Girls story, the original, you know exactly what you're getting and you know exactly what this movie is then.
Yes, all the beats are the same. There's nothing to it.
I mean, everything from the math decathlon thing.
Yeah, he's still
the
a math
Halloween
lead.
party, they make sure they fit in all the jokes. On October 3rd, he asked me the date.
Yes, they still yes, and they do. They make sure that they get all the things in. It's like, hey, you remember that? We're gonna do it too. Don't forget. So yeah, disappointing. Oh man, what a bummer.
And seeing Jenna Fisher in this movie, as time has gone on, this is gonna make me sound like a real douche.
Can't wait. Here we go.
As time has gone on, and we've all rewatched The Office 9,000 times. My God, do I hate Pam Beesly. One of the most...
You've always been like that. That's always been
one of the most deservedly hateable characters in television. Horrible person. What a terrible person Pam Beesly is. And now, because she's so associated with that role, and she's done other shit, like she was in Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox, and
she's great in that, yeah.
But she popped up on this screen, and I go, fucking Pam Beesly. I was like grinding my teeth at the screen. We're 9 seconds into this movie. I got to deal with Pam Beesly. Oh my God. After what she did to Roy, after what she did to Jim, and it's not Jenna Fisher. She didn't do it. Somebody wrote it for her to do.
I can't wait because the Facebook group is gonna be everyone yelling at you for hating on her. What did she do to Jim?
I am 100% justified in this hate.
Listen. We've talked about before, and everything you make excellent points that I agree with. She's done a lot of things that were very questionable.
I am the provocateur of points.
I just have a feeling, though, that's America's sweetheart right there. Everyone loves Jim and Pam, baby. So
I think anyone with 2 eyes and a heartbeat is definitely going to agree with me.
Oh, here we go, folks. Facebook, search Call JoeMeZ. Let's have some fun.
Gomez, hit some music.
You got it.
Are you a man? A double main man? Are you a man? A triple main man? A man? A quadruple main man? Are you a man? Are you a man?
All right, Joe. We got the new release of Mean Girls, the retelling of our beloved Mean Girls movie. This time, it's a musical. Who knew? Huh. What do you think, Joe? Where's this falling on your main man standings?
I was like questioning myself when I came out of the theater the other day. And like you just said, our beloved Mean Girls from 20 years ago, and I think that's apropos. I think that Mean
Yeah.
Girls movie is a great movie. It captures the time and the place in a way that felt new and fresh and realistic, despite the over the topness of it. It does have some basis in what you think people that age go through. And I felt like a lot of us could relate to being in cliques and stuff at that time. And when I walked out of there for this movie, the musical now, I felt very underwhelmed. And then I went to look at what people were saying on the internet, and apparently I'm the only one. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 71% with an audience score of 67. IMDb has this at a 6.4. So they're liking it more than me because the only hook to seeing this movie is the songs.
Yes.
If I want to watch Mean Girls, I want to watch
Mean
it
Girls.
with the people doing Mean Girls.
Yeah, I'm gonna
The
watch Mean
only
Girls,
hook
100%.
is the songs, and the songs do not
Angry.
provide me with that level of engagement or entertainment or fun that I could have gotten from just watching the original movie. So for that reason, I think it's fine. It's a fine telling of it. It's not like it rips apart the mythos of the original Mean Girls and, you know, like shits on its grave or anything. I just don't think there's really anything compelling about it, but it's a perfectly fine watch. It's pretty quick, an hour 52. So you're in and out like a bank robbery. Nobody gets hurt, but I'm still going to have it just right in the middle. It's fine. It's a double and a half main man, 2.5 stars.
I'm there with you, Joe. Everything you said is true. If you want to watch Mean Girls, you watch Mean Girls. You would watch this because you want to watch the Mean Girls sing. And you know, I watched the movie. I did listen to the soundtrack today. I was like, let me listen to the soundtrack again. I've heard the songs. Let me see. And it was just like, yeah, you know, again, nothing. Day 2, day 3, no. You know, by the third day, I'm like singing the song. Remember when we saw Greatest Showman? We couldn't shut up about these songs.
Yeah.
We were singing
And then
dancing.
when they came out with the album of the remixes from the popular artists covering the songs from Greatest Showman, we have to have this.
We have to have. So like that's how it's supposed to be.
If
after
and
a
when,
musical.
JoeMeZ, mark this down. Get your pen, your pencil, put it in pencil.
Yep.
If and when I finally get married,
Oh.
not only will Scott Steiner be my best man, but my wedding song is going to be the cover from The Greatest Showman of A Million Dreams by Pink.
Whew, can't wait. It's down. It's in pencil.
It's in pencil. That means it's permanent.
Can't erase it. It's perfect. Love it. So yeah, I'm 2.5. You know, if you want to watch Mean Girls, watch it. Again, the movie's not bad, but they just did it better. Lindsay Lohan's better. You know, it's better. Rachel McAdams, they're better.
And that's the thing too, is none of these performers are outright bad in this movie. There's nothing about this movie that's what I mean. Bad. You know what I mean?
It's okay. It's just so
it's very okay. Like what we said about Elemental back in the day. It's aggressively fine.
Aggressively fine. 100%. I don't think you're gonna hate the movie. I mean, I'm sure there's always someone who's gonna love the movie, but I think majority of people will be like, oh, it was okay, you know. Oh, there was a couple catchy songs, and then just they'll never think about it again. Next time they think about Mean Girls, it will be the original. So, disappointing, Joe. Disappointing. My goodness.
Could have been worse.
It could have been worse. Yes, 100%. We were excited. I was excited. I know I was. I was excited for Mean Girls and musical combo. So that makes me sad. Oh, baby. So we're in musical month. Let's have some fun here. Let's see if we can have fun this week. Let's see. I love fun. I was thinking for musical month, maybe we should hang out with
Mr. Cooper.
Oh, baby. Don't fucking get me
Is there
excited.
a Mr. Cooper musical?
You know, back then, you know, sometimes they would do that. Let's see. Was there a Mr. Cooper music episode?
I don't think there was. It was a big deal. I feel like Buffy
it was in the 2000s,
first person, or like the late 90s.
Yeah, it was like that.
When Buffy did it, it was like such a big deal. Like, oh, they're gonna do a musical episode.
Oh my god! So this week we're gonna hang out with it's my double main man. I don't think he's yours. If I say Baz Luhrmann, do you remember the movies he's made? Do you remember?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so
Actually, did he do the Elvis movie?
Yes, he did. He's
He
the guy
does.
who did
Yeah.
Elvis.
Okay.
He did Great Gatsby. He did Elvis. And he did this movie that we're going to watch this week, Moulin Rouge, baby. The 2001 classic. I call it a
Wow.
classic.
Speaking of Pink.
Yes, that's right. You finally get to hear Lady Marmalade. And you get to know what it's about and stuff.
JoeMeZ, just because I haven't seen the movie doesn't mean I haven't heard the song.
I meant in the context of the movie. Oh, so I think this is a fun movie. I think that you're gonna have fun with the songs. It's interesting to look at because, as you know, you saw Elvis, so that's his style. He
He has
very
a style, yes.
in your face. We're gonna throw things at you, colorful. Let's go. This is on Paramount Plus. You don't got Paramount
Ooh.
Plus, that's okay. I'm probably gonna stream this for everyone on the Twitch this weekend.
It's funny you bring up Paramount Plus because this Mean Girls musical was originally produced to be an exclusive to Paramount Plus. It was. And it got very positive reviews during screenings. And they said, hey, we're going to try to release this in theaters.
Let's make some money. Yeah. What a fucking idea. Let's release a movie to make money off of it. Have people thought of this before?
I don't know. Shit. Wow. And one other little note that I did find interesting about this Mean Girls movie, the character of Karen is played by Avantika, this Indian girl. And you know who auditioned for this role, obviously didn't get it, but someone who you and I are both a fan of.
Oh, who is this?
Iman Vellani, Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan.
Wow. Now that would have been awesome. That would have made the movie because she's just full of charisma. She's too good though.
And she has powers. Imagine she uses her powers in it. Maybe she could have made the songs better.
Maybe I would try. She would definitely make the movie better. She just has a presence about her.
She does. Yeah.
So yeah. So Moulin Rouge, Joe. I'm excited for you to check this out.
I am too. Obviously, this was it is 2001. You said.
Yes, 2001.
Yeah, this was a big thing back then. The video, especially for Lady Marmalade, was literally when MTV still mattered, and you had all these hot singers at the time in one video and one song. Maya, what is up? Where is Maya nowadays? I haven't seen Maya since 2001.
She pops up every once in a while, still looking fine. She looks exactly how she looks. That's what it always is. It's always like, yo, look how good Maya looks. She's 43 years old, whatever. No, it's just like
I feel like that's what people say about me.
I think it is, baby. You
every time I go anywhere, I hear the whispers,
Oh, he's looking fine.
Yeah. All right, JoeMeZ, that's for next week, Moulin Rouge, but we got to finish up this week. Let's go.
Ooh, baby, let's go. It's now time for the big finish. All right, Joe, I hit some familiar music, but we're going to do things a little differently.
Oh.
So
I don't like
have a wheel. I have a wheel. Let's pull up this wheel here.
Okay.
Oh, baby. So here we go. I made a wheel. We have some choices here, like we mentioned last week. It could land on several things. It could land on a regular big finish where we give a big our top three of whatever. Lothario of Love, a Would You Rather, and a Fuck, Marry, Kill. Okay. I think these are all fun things for us to, mix it up a little bit, right?
All right, 2024, the year of choice.
So let's spin this wheel. See what we got here. It's never gonna do it. Oh, look at this, Joe.
Would you rather?
Would you rather? I got one.
Sure. Yes, I would rather.
Oh, it's gonna
Thank
be
you
interesting.
guys for listening.
So, if you have listeners out there, passengers, if you have a good fuck, marry, kill you want to send in, a Lothario of love question, or would you rather? Send them in. Send them in. Hit up the DMs, hit up the Facebook, whatever you want. Joe, this week's would you rather? Joe, would you rather have sex with a mermaid where the top half is human and the bottom is a fish, or
So a
the top
mermaid.
half, or the top half is a fish and the
Oh.
bottom half is a human?
Mm.
What do you think? You want to get in those fish guts? You want to kiss the fish face? I don't know. It's
So I don't want to say I've thought about this,
I love it.
but you got to remember, back in 1989, a movie came out that transformed the adolescence of young boys like myself, 7 years old at the time, when we got to see the very well-drawn Ariel as the Little Mermaid.
Yes, of course.
And for years, we've all said, you know what? I like the Little Mermaid. We didn't know why. Maybe we couldn't pinpoint it at the time, but deep down, we all knew. But the physiological question has always existed, JoeMeZ. How do you get in it? You know, it's one thing for her to wish for legs, right? It's one thing for that. But how do the mer people, you know, they do the acclaim thing.
The scissor.
How do they do it? What goes into it? I don't know. But I've thought about it. And yes, if I'm looking at that, if I'm looking at the human top half, I think I would rather have the human top half than with the fish bottom half, because it would keep me invested and keep my focus, you know? If I'm looking at a fish, I'd be like, actually, you know, now that I think think it,
You bend that bitch over. Clap them cheeks.
Hold the wheel right there, Pat Sajak.
Here we go.
We got time for another round.
What's happening?
You know, I've been to furry conventions. And an animal top half, or a neko, you know, some people like to be called.
A fucking official word in here, folks.
It's not that bad. So if you want to, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go fish top half with the human bottom half, because it's just gonna be like nothing. It's gonna be like anything else I've ever done. I mean, I have had intercourse with squirrel people, and I was dressed as a bunny at the time, but there have also been foxes, like all sorts of stuff. I've done some shit now that I think about it. So yeah, that's the easy answer, is you get over the animal thing real quick when you're doing it, and at least it doesn't pull you, because you're doing the same thing you always did on the bottom. We have experience in this. So yeah, that's the answer. The answer is animal top half, human bottom half. I'm glad I was able to verbalize this all aloud and figure it out.
I'm so happy you were able to verbalize it. I'm really happy about the journey we just went on.
I feel like a real science man.
I agree. I think I would go the bottom half, because at least we know what the bottom half, right? We're familiar with the bottom half. And like I said, you could do maybe a position where you don't have to notice the fish, but also, I mean, what that fish mouth do, right? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you know, if we in the moment, you know, we in the moment and we getting down, and I think fish mouth, human lady bottom. Yeah, I think that's the winner, baby.
Could be a sexy fish.
Yeah,
you gotta see some
colors,
of these
beautiful colors. Yeah. Right? I love it.
A lot of girls like being cats, different kind of cats. I've done a lot of cats.
What a great way to kick off the new Big Finish. I gotta say, John, I think it's great success.
I'm really glad, I worked through that. It took some thinking, but I did work through it.
We love you for it. Thank you.
And thank you guys for listening to the JoeMeZ podcast. Remember to hit that subscribe button, leave a 5-star review wherever it is that you're listening to this. Please remember to subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/@JoeMeZ. Subscribe, leave a comment. Remember to smash that like button and ring that bell so you get the alerts whenever we post some new videos. We're here every Thursday talking whatever is going on in popular culture. JoeMeZ, with as much as we talked about, there's so much we didn't even get into yet because it's just too much. There's too many networks, too much stuff going on, but we're trying. We're trying because that's what we do here. You can follow us on social media at JoeMeZ, Instagram, Twitter, the Facebook group, obviously. Just search JoeMeZ podcast on Facebook. It's free to join, and everybody's there having a great time, like we're on Threads or something. You can follow all my personal stuff at the Joe Shoes everywhere on social media. February 10th, I'll be in Girard, Ohio for Toy Convention. I'm very excited. Me, Brian Myers, Dan Housen, Moose, we'll be there signing, meeting people, looking at toys, having a good time. So definitely come out to that. We got some stuff going on at the beginning of April. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And a little bit more stuff going on at I think the beginning of May. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And you'll be able to see me in your town soon, like the Lex Express. I'm coming to your town.
I love it. The JoeMeZ154, Instagram, Twitter. Check out the Twitch stream. I will throw up MOULIN ROUGE on there for the folks that don't have the Paramount Plus. That's twitch.tv/MEZmovie.
Musical month continues, JoeMeZ, but for now, let's make like Tom and cruise.
Peace.